In this lesson, I am going to discuss how to declare TypeScript variables. We can declare variables in TypeScript the same way we used to declare variables in JavaScript. We can make use of var keyword to declare variables. In this lesson, I will discuss problems associated with variable declaration method of JavaScript using var keyword. I will help you to understand my point with very simple example. So let's create a simple TypeScript file. So here is our TypeScript file, and within this TypeScript file I'm going to write down my code. So let's declare a variable num and let's initiate it with value 10. In next line I'm going to write for loop, and within this for loop I'm going to declare another variable I which will start from 0. And this loop will continue executing until the value of I is less than 10. And within this loop, I am going to add the value of I to variable num. And over here, I am going to print the value of variable I and variable num. Over here, we will be checking what are the final values of I and num. I'm going to copy this line, and in next line I'm going to print the value of variable num. I have finished my code, and let's save this code and let's compile it. And in here I'm going to use TypeScript compiler to compile this particular code. So I will have to pass file to this compiler. So here is our TypeScript file, and let's press enter. It has got compiled our program file and has generated valid JavaScript code for us. So here is our JavaScript code. Now let's execute it, and it has returned us valid answer, that is the value of I is 10 and value of num is 55. These are the final values. The problem with this method is that we can access variable I outside the scope of for block. You can see over here that we define variable I over here, and it is accessible outside the for block. If you will recall the strict object oriented programming language that you may have studied in past, variables are inaccessible outside their scope block. That is, in current scenario, the scope of the variable I is within the for loop. Therefore, it should not be accessible outside the for loop. So how we can resolve this problem? The solution is let keyword. With let keyword, we can implement scope blocking. Means we can restrict the scope of a variable within its block. So with this method, if you will try to access any variable outside its scope block, you would not be able to do so. I will make changes in this code to help you understand what I mean. So in our current code, I am going to replace var keyword with let keyword. And now I am going to save it. And once I made any change in this code file, you can see that Visual Studio Code has given us error for variable I. It has underlined red this particular variable. And it says that when I move my mouse over this particular variable, it says that cannot find name I. That is, TypeScript is failing to find name I. This variable is not accessible because it is not available in its current scenario, means in its current scope. The scope of the I variable has got finished once we came out of the for block. And once we came out of for block, the I variable is not accessible. Now if you will try to compile this program, TypeScript will throw an error. It says that cannot find name I.